This is the problem with going to other areas without establishing your own city first. I have no qualms with everybody supporting other cities, but we have to address why, when we've not got our own cities established, why we're establishing it everywhere else. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Manchester, we was establishing a momentum. So what does that do now? I don't get where we're going with this. And it's for, hello, I don't get it. Is it just me that thinks that way, or I don't know? What are your thoughts on it? What do you think? What do you think of the idea of everyone bouncing around? And what do you think? Everyone bouncing around different cities, which is good. We've got to support each other 1000%. But what does that speak to, i.e. Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, London, the main cities? I was just watching London then. There's not enough people in London. The police are literally clobbering. Now we know what the police are like. When they see there's only a few, they're going to use the bully boy tactics. So what's your thoughts on establishing in your own city, or not even your own city, just the main cities, the numbers and the frequency? Like, what's your idea on that?
I think that's what you're saying, is like the numbers are small in like London today. You think if it's going to be big anywhere, London's the capital city, there's like 30-40 million people live around that area. It's like, and it's still not enough there.
There's still not enough.
The thing is, so I agree with you that you have to have your presence in Manchester. I'm from Manchester. I've spoken to you before about getting more involved in it. But then we also do need the numbers. Yeah. So maybe it does need to be that it's all these different groups get together and say we need to organise something that's big. You know, something where we get in tens of thousands of people. And where we outnumber them. And we saw it last week when there was, I don't know how many was here last week, 6,000, I don't know. It's hard to say.
A lot.
There was a lot, and walking all around the streets and stuff. And the police stayed back because they didn't have the numbers to kind of do anything. And it was peaceful, there was nobody causing trouble. You know, there was, I mean, yeah, and the police seemed very peaceful about it as well. They didn't seem to be antagonising anyone, and they allowed it to happen. Because when you have so many people, we outnumber them. Yeah. And, you know, and that's what we need to do. Not to be aggressive, not to be kind of antagonistic, but just to be out in numbers and kind of doing that, you know. So, yeah, you need to support local, but I think we all need to get together and look at the bigger picture and come together and, you know, have big one-off ones and focus locally as well. It's difficult to get the balance, isn't it?
Right, keep it going. Wait till it catches up.
Wonderful people who are here. If you are hurting, if you've experienced...
Here we go. We're getting to the present moment now.
If you have lost your job...
Good to see everybody here. Now, for you guys that turned up, absolutely stunning. We do have a problem, and we all know what that problem is, so we're not going to go into that. Right, me and a few of our friends have been speaking, because last week there was an entourage of us. There was zillions of us, and now there only seems to be a few of us, but that's okay. What we need to do is start taking a little bit more responsibility. Next year, we know that this is a totalitarian TikTok. They've allowed us to protest at this moment, but we know that them shackles are going to stop next year. We know what's coming, yeah? We know what's coming. So it's up to us now to ensure that in the moments moving forward, we're getting people here. What we need to stop is 1 week we turn up, there's 2,000 people, and the next week we turn up and there's only 20. That needs to stop. This is not a holiday, this is not a party, this is not a football match.
Life.
This is life. We're going to turn up next week because our friends and family were here, yeah? And turn up the next week because they don't want to hold our hand. I don't know what that is. This is our freedoms and our rights is gonna, we won't call it breaking the rules because we've got our own rules.
Ignoring the advice. The guidelines.
Ignoring the guidelines. Ignoring the guidelines. I'm sure we're gonna do our own thing because it's our God-given right to do so. But we're not gonna bitch. Sorry, kids. We're not gonna cry and moan about there not being hundreds of millions here. We are here because we know why we're here. We're standing up for our rights and freedoms, so we're going to go and put up a resistance irrespective. We're going to do it peacefully, yep, and we're going to do it with joy, regardless. But moving forward, people, we really need to step it up. When it comes to the new year, we need to ensure that every single week, not this, we're going to turn up at the start of December and then we're going to wait till the start of January. That's no good. That's no good. That's not how you get your freedoms and rights back. That is not how you get your freedom and rights back. It needs to be persistent, it needs to be consistent. Every single week. If we could do this every single day, I'm sure we would. But the logistics won't allow us, so we'll forgive ourselves for not being able to. But once a week, there should be no excuses. This is a major city in Manchester. Major city. Birmingham. Major city. London. Major city. I was just watching the lives from London and the police. We're giving them brutality. Yep. We're giving them a hard time. That's because the numbers are not there. Now, those police that don't want to go with the guidelines, yeah, because thank you for the police that we've had in Manchester who have not given us grief and aggro. We appreciate that, yeah, and credit where credit's due. But in London, the police are going on with the madness. Now that's because, not only because there's not enough numbers, but they would act different if there was more numbers. Now, if in your major cities, Manchester, Birmingham, London, you're not getting the numbers every single week, then what is this? What are we fighting for? There needs to ensure that there's numbers every single week, and it's for us that turned up today, not to blame anybody else, but ensure that when you go away, you spread the word. That's all we can do, is spread the word. Don't lull yourselves into a false sense of security that is kind of loose in the reins. We know what's coming. It's for us to take responsibility for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, and ensure that week on, week out, we are getting numbers here. Yeah, forget the organisers, forget whether it's Stand Up X, whether it's Paul Boys, or whether it's Boris Johnson. You're not here for the leaders, you're here for yourself. You're here for yourself. You're not here for leaders, we're not followers, we're independent thinkers. We know why we're here, so it shouldn't take for the leaders and the Facebook savvy masses to tell you to turn up every single week. You should just be turning up every single week, irrespective. Regardless, you should be turning up every single week. Yes, guys, 1 o'clock here every single week. Every single week. Be here. Be here. Yes, the advertising and the organisation has to be a lot better, 1,000%. But we really got to stop this thing whereby, you know, someone on Facebook who we're following tells us to be here, or if Piers Corbyn or David Icke or one of your favourite speakers is here, that's the only reason why you turn up. That shit's got to stop. That has to stop. You're not here for anyone but yourself and your family and the wider community. That's all you're here for. If next year, and we know it's coming, tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, they're going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. If next year they cut everything off, you're going to be living in regrets. You're going to say to yourself, why didn't I turn up every week? Why was I waiting for my master on Facebook, or the person that I follow, or all these speakers that seem to be running around the country? Why did I wait for them to tell me there was a protest or something was happening for me to stand up and resist. Why was I waiting for that? We need to stop that, guys. I respect 1,000% that we're supporting each other around the country. 1,000% that has to carry on. But at the same time, if it's at the expense of not having enough people in your own city, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that in London right now, the biggest city in the UK, that there's not enough protesting because everyone else is running around the country. We need to be a lot more organised, a lot more together, and we really, and I'm going to say it again, really, stop following the Facebook masses. Stop it. If you're from Manchester, if you're from Leeds, if you're from Liverpool, wherever you're from, support your town and city. Not because someone on Facebook says, not because the speakers say, because you know what's going on. Because you know what's going on. You should be supporting your own. End of story. When there's enough, and then when there's enough of us consistently in our own cities, supporting each other, then we can think about running around the country. A lot of us can't even get to other cities and towns for many different reasons. Whether it be families, we've got families to look after, whether it be work, whether it be resources. There's different reasons why people can't get to other towns and cities. Okay, if that's the case, then there needs to be a fallback plan. What is the fallback plan? The fallback plan is that in your own city, there still needs to be some type of coming together and resistance. That's not happening around the country. There needs to be some type of organisation. Bob Marley said a famous quote, and I'll paraphrase. He said that those that are working tirelessly to bring us down and put us in a certain situation are not taking days off. So why are we? Why are we taking days off? Why does it take Manchester before the last 2 weeks, a month before we got together? What is that? Well, there is a shout out to Sharon and the crew. There has been Sharon. How many of you have been there? Yeah? There you go, okay. Well, I'm going to apologise to these ladies for not walking the walk and going around the country too, and not supporting these ladies also.
We've been trying to get everyone in for months, and he's right. I want to support everything that Rio said. We need to be here every single week. We can't afford to stick back and take time off. If you're not working, you should be here every week. We've got a fight on our hands, and if we don't fight, we're not going to win. And I'm not going to stop until we do win. We're not scared to talk about what they're doing to our kids. A dream about extracting from the head. The sexual education and relationship is schools. And that is facts. The amount of children that go missing is an absolute joke. All you got to do is do your research, and stop watching the BBC. What, even the memorial above the BBC, check that out. Absolutely nonsense. Yeah, no, the corrupt organisations involved with children, social services, child services, the local councils, schools, all corrupted. Local government protecting booming gangs and paedophiles, all corrupted, all protected.
We are the people. We are the power. We are the 99%.
We are the people. We are the power. We are the 99%. We are the people. We are the power. We are the 99%.
protesting against?
We are the people.
For what? What is that free?
mean? And then it's like, it'll affect your DNA. They're trying to change your DNA, and they're not even denying this. They're bragging about it. Bill Gates, Boris Johnson, they're eugenicists. They want a population control. They want to take out at least 80% of the population. And they're going to do that by different means, and the vaccine is one of them. Getting everyone to walk around in masks is affecting your immune system. They know this. Medical experts the world over have proven that masks are dangerous. It's also inhumane and a sign of compliance. The longer you wear those masks, the longer you're putting yourself at harm. The longer you're showing compliance, you need to start standing up to this government and saying no. I know a lot of you are pissed off with all this. You don't want to lock down and you don't want to wear masks. Well, don't. Use your own common sense. Make decisions that are based on your heart. Seriously, people, take those bloody masks off and start thinking of your common sense. Why you do what Boris Johnson is telling you? He's a eugenicist. He's an upper-class twit who wants to rule the world.
And the idea of the mandatory masks come from the Behaviour Insights team under Mindspace, who are psychologists, not medical professionals, psychologists. It's all psychops. Now they're starting implementing it in schools, in middle schools. Children wearing masks. Children need non-verbal communication. It's how they develop. Even in primary school, the teachers are wearing them. The parents are coming and picking them up in masks. Where do children get the smiling, their interaction, and social bubbles? Where do they get the human contact? This is filtering into robots. We're transhuman. We're human. We've got spirit. We've got heart. We do not consent.
Look what they've done to the small businesses of this country. They've ruined the majority of them. It's the big conglomerates that are allowed to stay open. They're not exempt from all this lockdown, are they? No, they can carry on making all their money. They're profiting from this, just like the eugenicists and the elites of this world are profiting from the vaccine.
Matt Hancock and his 75% shares in Biopharma. 75%! How much money do you think he's going to make off a COVID vaccine? And then the cheek you get is smug, pretending to cry like he gives a fuck about us.
Let me just say this, right? If masks worked, there'd be no lockdowns, there'd be no tier systems. Masks are not effective. Look around you, you're all wearing masks, but you're all under lockdown. It's not doing anything.
Where's the voice for the homeless?
Exactly. We need to come together, help everyone. We're all fighting each other. He's not wearing a mask. He's not wearing a mask. So what? Asymptomatic transmission is a myth. What other infectious disease in history has got asymptomatic transmission? If you're ill, you're ill. You can physically see it. You can physically feel it.
You wouldn't want to go out.
Exhibiting symptoms, you're coughing, you're sneezing. You don't have death breath. You don't walk around going,
What I would rather do is appeal to your better natures and say it needs to stop here, as opposed. Let us finish, mate. As opposed to having to potentially take it further and deal with it by ways of enforcement, which I'd rather not
So
do.
why is it different this week but wasn't different the last 2 weeks? Why is it last 2 weeks?
I'm talking about now.
I know, but is that because it was more of us? So it's the same thing going to happen next week if there's more of us? Because it seems a little bit of a bully boy tactic. Yeah, you know it is. You know it is. I'm speaking to your higher nature. You know that it's a bully boy tactic because last week we was all right, we were being peaceful, and because there's only 50 of us, you surrounded us when there's no need to. This is. Look, there's no need. There's kids. It doesn't make sense. And you know it doesn't make sense. You know it doesn't make sense. Make sense. Why do the bully boy thing? Why not just let us walk around, because that's what we're doing, and then we'll go away what we're doing. We're not doing any harm. You can see that there's kids here, there's elderly here. We're doing it peacefully. So why do the bully boy thing now and surround us all? When last week and the week before, there wasn't all of us here doing the bully boy thing. Why do that? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
We're going to just walk peacefully anyway.
I've listened up for about 3 or 4 minutes, mate, so I've tried to engage with you. What I'll be asking officers to do is to take details off you and considering reporting you for offences that you committed. I would rather not do that. You're in a gathering of
Let's finish,
let me answer, okay? It's tier 3 at the moment in Greater Manchester.
Have a look on real time,
okay, so I would rather that doesn't happen.
So is it double? Do you not see how that's a double standard? Do you not see?
All I would say is if you have any issues about how the government are doing this, you raise that. Is this coming from you or is this coming from somebody else?
It's freedom of speech.
Let's just say we're going to expand lots of people. You know you're not being
and the eye force. I respect it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've got the opportunity to go to the phone to leave.
with conditions.
So if you want to leave.
I can't tell you what you are and aren't allowed to say. I can't tell.
Basically, we're coming to the end now, and what we want is this peaceful protest to end exactly like that, peaceful. We have to come to a point. Sorry, just let me talk. We're giving you the opportunity to speak. It's come to the point now where obviously we can't have 30, 40 officers hanging out on the pavement. So we've got to give people the final opportunity now to disband.
Right.
We don't want the 40 officers.
It's overkill.
We don't want to start.
Why have you got 30 officers here to begin with?
Like I said, there's me. I'm not resisting. I'm asking
Why
you a
don't you just
question.
let us finish the protest where we
I'm
started?
asking you a question. There's not 30 people here, so have the rules just changed? Have the rules changed? There's not 30 people here, or are you now just saying that?
We're just supposed to abide by the law, not rules. No regulation.
I'm not giving any
law and take your oath.
to you guys.
Can I ask where you're taking him? It's my right to know.
No, it don't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's my right to know. It's my right to know where you're taking him. It's my right to taking him. It's my right to know where you're taking
Well, that's how you're coming across. You're coming across as, well, if you don't listen to us, it's going to get hefty. It doesn't need to get hefty. Come on, officer. It's implied. You know what it is. Let's not do that. You know what it is. I know there's cameras here. You're going to act like, well, I'm peaceful. If I start rearing up, you're going to start pushing. Come on, let's not do that, officer.
Don't need to do that.
I know, but let's just cut the rubbish. Let's just talk like human beings. You said that online, as you said, that we're not allowed to gather. That's not true. That's not true. Or is it true? Are you telling me that's true? Because that's factually not true. That's not true. That's not true. We're allowed to gather with 30 and less. That's facts. Now, if you're telling me that's wrong on camera, it means you're lying. It means you're lying.
Hello?
Right, so what I'm saying to you is, that you just said, I'm just trying to establish some type of rules and regulations, because if not, then what is this then? It's a tyranny from you guys that can make rules up. That you've just said to me that online you can get the rules and regulations, and that's a lie. There's a rules and regulations state that we're allowed to protest in a gathering of 30 or less. So I appreciate that there might have been, I don't know how many it was, that there might have been more than 30. I appreciate that. Now there's not 30. All I'm asking is, you said, let's disband and let's finish this off, fine. So what if we want to carry on now? Is there a rule that states that we're not allowed to carry on beyond what you said, barring the law, and are you picking that up? Or is the law making that up? That's what I'm trying to say. Or are you making up your own rules?
So I'll explain something. So the offence has already been committed.
That's it?
Of course it has, because there was more than 30 people.
So why did you arrest us all?
Okay, so I can only deal with one person. I can only speak to one person at once. It's not like I can speak to everyone. I've only one officer. So on the central rail, I'm speaking to you now. So the offence has already been committed. I'm just gathering more than 30 people.
So you're bribing? It sounds a bit like you're bribing. It sounds like we gave you a legal, and now that you've not actually committed a crime, you can do you for committing the crime before. So why did you do us then? That's bribery.
We're trying to balance the right for people's right to protest now.
Okay, so
there's only so much that we can do, and it's coming to a stop now. So we're giving people an opportunity.
So what happens next week if there's 10,000 people? What do you do then? What do you do with your limited resources? What do you do? Do you not see how it looks a bit like a bully boy tactic?
We can only do what we can do.
Does it not look like it's a bully boy?
Just look. If there's a protest of 10,000 people, that is a decision for the commanders, isn't it? And if there's 10,000 people and there's officers on the ground, then we will deal with it the best way that we can. And see if the objectives are achievable. Yeah, we can't go around and lock up 10,000 people, can we?
But you can lock up 30 people.
Listen, we don't even have 10,000 cops in GMA.
We know.
But there's only so much that we can do.
We know.
So we've appealed to people's better nature. We're giving people the opportunity to protest, which is what we've done. And then it's come to an end.
By law,
yeah,
not used, because you don't decide the law. That we just need to establish that. You're there to enforce the law, you're not there to establish it. It's not irrelevant, it's not no. It's not irrelevant, no. It's not, it can't be irrelevant. That's
We're only here to enforce it, aren't we? We don't make up the rules, everybody knows that.
Right, so like you've just said, you don't make up the rules. I'm trying to now establish some type of line from yourself, the enforcers, from those who actually are the policymakers. Is it that at 4 o'clock, if you get to 30 people, you are now no longer allowed to protest? Is it that if you started out at 50 and now you're at 30, you can still carry on or not?
I'll explain. It's a decision for the commanders. It's something that is continually assessed, okay? It's something that's continually reviewed. And at every stage of the protest, it's reviewed again. It's reviewed again. It's the reason why you weren't allowed back on Market Street. It's something that the commanders constantly review and pass down the information for us to try and help.
Market Street, where there's millions of people?
It's not a gathering of people going out about their own business. If people go out shopping and wearing masks, then it's allowed, isn't it?
Okay, so what about next week? What goes on next week?
That's an individual case that will be assessed at the time. Like if it's 10,000 people.
This is a case of bully boy tactics. You've seen there's only a few, so you're coming in with that bully boy tactic whereby you say, oh, there's only a few, we can manage them, so we're gonna come in and surround them as if because it's kids and elderly people. What do you think that we're going to do?
Nothing about bully boy.
It is a bully boy tactic. It is a bully boy, and you know it is. It is a bully boy. It's a bully boy tactics. It's a bully boy tactic. You're not going to do it because you're on camera, I get it. But it's bully boy tactics. You know it is. It's bully boy tactics. You didn't do it last week. You're going to not do it next week if there's 10,000 people. You're not going to step in and think to yourselves, wow, as a human being, I can't actually step in now when I was stepping in a week before when there was only 30 people. But I'm willing to step in now when I'm not willing to step in now there's 10,000 people. How do you feel, mate? How do you feel?
Something that's constantly reviewed. And if an objective's achievable, then we'll try and do it. And if it's not, it's something that we have to monitor and assess on an individual basis. That's all we can do.
It's quite shocking, that's not good enough.
I'm not with 30 people now. Am I allowed, from your perspective, not the law, because we'll distinguish who's deciding what now, and I don't mind that you're going to say you lock me up. I'm not going to resist. Here's my hands. I'm not going to give no names or whatever. Here's my hands before we even get to that. That's you don't need to do all that stupidness. What I'm saying now is I'm going to carry on saying what I'm saying. Am I allowed to do that from your perspective? I just want to know where we are moving forward, because we're not in a line of 30 now. So what you're then going to tell me if we're not is that I'm not allowed to say what I'm allowed to say.
It's Pete round there. Yeah, he's busy. Yeah, if you don't mind,
And there was a bloke there, he was...
I know what you're coming from. So, I decide to go about my business now, shouting what I'm shouting, even with 10 of us, which the law states, the law, not you guys, the law, and we have to have some type of, you guys have to be a kind of
One second, the issue that we've got is
so that's bribery. I feel like you're bribing me. I feel like you're bribing me. A crime's already been committed. We let you off.
I've stood here and you keep speaking at me, and in order for a conversation to take place, you have to give me an opportunity to talk to you, okay? Now, can I just get your first name so I know who I'm speaking to?
I'm not going to give you any name.
Okay. Alright, that's fine. No, you don't. It's just...
There we go.
I just wanted to know I was talking to. Right. So, it doesn't matter if an offence has been committed. Last week, this week, 3 days ago, it's been committed, okay? So, that's what we're dealing with.
That's the premise. That's the premise.
It's going to get some direction.
So are you saying...
Just bear with us for a second.
no problem. I mean, okay. I'm just speaking to my boss, finding out what's happening, okay?
I'm just trying to... I'm not giving an name.
Alright, okay. Is there a name that we can call on you?
Call me whatever you want, my friend. Call me whatever you want. I don't mind. The kids call me daddy, so... Call me I'm just trying to establish where the line is, that's all. it's some sort of lying. I feel like your officer's bribing me in the fact that he says that an offence was committed before. Okay, well if the offence was committed at the time and you've seen it, then why didn't you lock everybody up? So now there's no offence being committed, i.e. everyone's disbanded. Well, now he's saying to me, well, we can lock you up because the offence is already committed. It sounds like bribery.
Listen to it, 10,000 pounds. Right, mate. At this moment in time, you're for the rest of the brief. Okay, so you do not have to say so, but may on your defence, do not mention when questions to which you let slide in court. If you do so, make given evidence. You want to just take.
Do not consent, do not agree.
Okay. You're not decent with us. So at this moment in time, I'm not going to put cuts on you. Okay.
Do not agree.
Okay. But if that changes, then you may have to get.
Not gonna.
Just take your hands out of your pocket. Keep your hands out of your pocket. We can leave it at that. I will need to search you before you get.
Sam, there's a van over here.
I don't give you consent to, but
One
you do what
second.
you got to do.
Because I'm not putting cuffs on you, because I'm trying to be as fair as possible, I am going to take a grip of your arm, and my colleague's going to do the same. You happy with that?
I'm not happy with it, but do what you got to do.
And when are we going to find out where you're taking him? Is that about, you know, what it is?
Should be right. It is. Should be. Do you have to tell them in a second? We don't have to. There's some point in it, money.
Have you got my number? Yes or no? Hold on. Okay, so how are we going to find out?
Protection, he's an adult, we can always write to the police station.
Excuse me, my friend.
Give it 2 otherwise you'll be going okay? So I'm doing you a favour, right? I'm trying to give you an opportunity now to walk away, and that's that. Otherwise, we're going to start looking at I'd rather not. Go away.
No, you don't have
Right, so here's the problem. You don't give me your details, I can't do anything by my summons. The offence of breaching the code of regulations. I've been on that group here today. What about me? You've got that. That's my own admission. Right now, give me no details. You can't be asking me that. You don't want to do that, do you? So there lies the problem. At the moment, I'm trying to get you to go away, you won't go away. Right? So then it leaves me with no other option than to enforce the code of regulations, right? And that's the problem. Now you're in a cell. Being a force of life. You don't tell the court who you are. Okay, listen to me, please. If you don't tell the court who you are, they will remand you in custody. Because they'll have no other choice. Okay, so you're prepared. You're prepared to get locked up now, spend all night in. So is there anything, right? Is there anything I can say or do right now to get you to walk away? No walking then. Okay, that way. Okay, in which case I'll try my best. I really have. You, my friend, are now under arrest for breaching code of regulations.
Why are you arresting him?
kidnapped. I am being kidnapped.
You're being kidnapped.
Come out here on a peaceful protest, informing the people that the government's lies and this global takeover that will ruin everybody's lives, led by eugenicists who want to kill the majority of the population, and they've arrested 3 innocent people for protesting peacefully. And if you compare this to Black Lives Matter protests where they were destroying statues, burning buildings and being violent, police still finding nothing. And in fact, they disgracefully took the knee in support of them. Arrest these 3 innocent people is complete hypocrisy. It's inhumane and it's unlawful. These people stand under the common law.
Female.
And what's happening here today is a sign of the times. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're all going to be fucked, basically. Half an hour ago, I had respect for the Manchester police, but that was very slowly eroding away over the last half hour. It's ridiculous.
I've already been in and spoke to the guy. We were here asking about a gentleman who got arrested yesterday in town. He's committed no crime, broken no law. For some reason they're holding him, so we're just basically here to see what's going on that.
I'm here to report on it. I stay unbiased. I'm just a member of the class person.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm just checking. I mean, obviously, part of our concerns, obviously, people with cameras, obviously,
totally understandable.
Yeah. No problem, Bill. If you're just reporting, then I'll leave you be with just
Alright, mate.
But this is what we want, though. We want them coming out, you know what I mean? But one thing about the police, they don't like the public filming things. They don't like people knowing what's going on. They like to keep everyone in the dark so that if they say something to the public outside, 9 times out of 10 the public will take their word for it. But whereas if we've got people here filming and looking on what's going on, then it's more difficult to do that. So we'll see.
My partner has been arrested for peacefully gathering with a group of people to make awareness of the corruption that's happening in the government and all over. He got arrested unlawfully last night. He hasn't disclosed his name or any information. They're not giving no information in terms of his well-being, how he is, or what they're doing. As far as I know, him and another gentleman are basically in court tomorrow. They haven't said under what law that they've committed an offence on or where they're actually at this point. So I'm out here showing strength, love, support to both of our fellow friends, partners, loved ones, our freedom fighters, because that's all they've been doing is fighting for our freedom, fighting for our kids, fighting for our family, our grandkids, future generation against this corruption. So I'm outside Central Park, showing my support, sending my high vibrational energy to them both, my love. I hope there's more that's going to join us and just show support to these fellow people. I'm not disclosing the name due to the fact that they haven't disclosed their name into the headquarters. We're at Central Park Police Station. Show your support. These guys have been fighting our corner day in, day out, non-stop, constant. Every week, every minute of the day they've been supporting us. So we need to show up, chant, shout, send our love. Been in custody nearly 24 hours and we've just been informed that they're going to court tomorrow. They ain't said what they've been charged with, under what law or legislation that they're being charged with. We ain't getting no information at all in regards to what they're doing with them or their well-being.
All I just want to say is there's a man in there, a good man, a decent man, a man by his principles, being held. No crime committed. Legislation is being cited as a reason. Now, there's a reason to believe there's a fixed penalty notice what needs to be applied. Now, this man is not given the details to have that fixed penalty notice applied, and good on him. At the moment, it's a game of cat and mouse at the moment, that's all I want to say, and I know he's all right, and we'll all see him again soon, of course we will. It's a precedent, it could be a precedent for what's happening. There's so many times what's happened since this Coronavirus Act has been introduced, where the courts have intervened and had to sort out the mess of this legislation not being applied properly.
Yeah, this is the Advisory Committee on Dangerous Pathogens. It's the Public Health England, 61 Collindale Avenue. It's all there, all the address and that. And this is 13th of March 2020, classification of COVID-19. I am writing as chair of the Advisory Committee on Dangerous Pathogens. The committee discussed today the classification of COVID-19 as a high consequence infectious disease. The unanimous view of the committee was the infection should not be classified as a highly infectious disease. Best wishes, yours sincerely, Professor Tom Evans. So, if it's not highly infectious, what's the Coronavirus Act? Why is he sat in a cell for something that is not even infectious? It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on. It's become a farce. Yeah, I think they'll let him go in the morning. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to let him go in the morning. And even if they don't, the judge is going to let him go. They can't keep him. It's a fact. They can't keep him. They're just trying to frighten him into giving his name. And if he doesn't, they'll let him.
I'll say in the next 5 minutes, and hopefully he has given permission to tell us basically what he's being charged with. Especially because I've given my name now, so he knows who's asking, and at least we're one step ahead of knowing what they both are being charged with. So it's just a waiting game, and hopefully tomorrow I'll decide today with persistent asking and ringing that they're like, oh,
don't let him go.
These are headaches, just get rid of them. These are too much headaches.
I promise you.
Thank you all for just coming, supporting me, supporting our fellow man, and just being here.
Definitely, it's the right thing to do.